Tom Cruise. You're not cool, man.
No, that's Fonzie.
I'm not starting the show until he takes his sunglasses off.
Fonzie.
Hola!
Thank you. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts, and today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our studio in the pothole-covered city of Las Vegas, Nevada. But what do I mean? We'll talk about that later. On today's show, is Cardano the #1 blockchain in crypto? Are they more decentralized than Bitcoin as they head into the Voltaire era of the last roadmap of Cardano? Also, Avalanche locks in another massive partnership. Is Avalanche the dark horse layer 1 that people are finally starting to talk about? We'll discuss that and much more on today's show. But first, welcome to Friday, which is the only show you get 3 co-hosts, and the first one is Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. Man, oh man.
Before you get into your is Bitcoin over this, is Bitcoin over that, I do want to introduce you to our third co-host. That is my best buddy, my bestie, Forrest. Forrest, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure having you on. Is Rob, does he come at you more like Maverick or Goose?
I don't know. Let's go Maverick.
I was thinking the guy who just works on the airplane. I was thinking the maintenance guy who works on the airplanes.
Your boy back. How you doing?
Anyways, man, what an up and down week. We'll get into the charts and numbers here in a second, but I saw a lot of chatter in the chat about 10K. Guys, we're, what is that, 92 away? 92 away from 10K, man. Who's going to help us get there? Forrest is. Everyone is.
It falls on you, Forrest, apparently.
Well, no, because the camera went to Forrest. So, guys, we're pretty close, man. All jokes aside, we appreciate everything. We know it's been a slow and steady grind, but we do everything organically. We try to do things the right way. And so, although we might not have the most subscribers, we know we got the best content out there. So we appreciate you guys. We also appreciate our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's crystal clear 4K stream is brought to you in part by them. If you own a business and you want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, there's one company we believe that'll get the job done for you, and that is Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, you guys have been pooping on my funny videos this week, so I'm not motivated to find any. I got one. So you guys want to crap on my funny stuff? Find your own funny stuff.
Oh, that's
Cry yourself a river. Also, before we get into that,
that's nice.
big shout out. We got Sir Swifty joining us in studio on the couch. He was here for Formula One. He said, "Hey, can I come hang out?" I said, "Absolutely." You're not Sammy from the Doge guy. He said, "No." I said, "Perfect. Come on by." So guys, if you're ever in town, you want to come hang out with us for a live show, please, we would be honored to host you in studio. Just reach out to us on Twitter or send us an email. Now, there are, the things, the light bulbs where you clap and then the light bulb turns on and off?
Yes.
Well,
the clapper?
The clapper, yeah.
Okay.
From the 80s? Yeah.
Anyways,
if you're old, put a 1 in the chat.
If you're more than old, put David name in there.
If you're really old,
guys,
you can't find the 1. It's on the top left of the keyboard.
Clapping is not just a single linear utility thing. It serves multiple purposes, and now you can clap, and your chair will go back in its place. I mean, who wouldn't spend thousands of dollars to buy special chairs that when you clap go back into place, right? I mean, Robin, is this an investment that you would make once we do get a boardroom?
If I have a company that has 10 chairs and I can afford those chairs and afford all of the people that can sit down there,
they look good.
And obviously we're profitable, I'm going to tell all the people in the boardroom, be like, man, pushing your damn chair, bro. Straight up, man.
You're lying. Your bougie ass would probably buy those.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, if you can't push in your chair getting up from a meeting,
sometimes you gotta get right to work. You don't have time to turn around and push a chair in, Anyways.
Also, I did have pulled up a little something here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Feel like A lot of us can relate. We got a normal person comprised of 72% water. Oh, well, me, 15% nicotine, 15% hake, 20% alcohol, 30% caffeine, 20% ibuprofen. This is spot on. You know, I got
Hey,
my vape. I had
what do you
I
hate?
drank too much last night. 3 coffees in, and well, I got a headache, and well, I can't stand you, David. So this fills the chart 100%.
You're so predictable. I didn't never expected that.
And also, well, you know, you left out our boy. It's Friday. We can't go Friday without.
Oh,
Hey,
by
your boy, you buy. Where is he? Where is he? Okay, honestly, all jokes, like Police aside, it looks like Brandon. What's
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Well, the leader of the free world is here. Forrest, did you bring any funny memes you want to share today?
No, but I mean, I just can't wait for 4 more years of that guy. He looks
say that.
ready and
Please.
excited for the next 4 years.
Don't say that, please, for the love of God. Anyways, I do have this now. Robin,
Yes.
no, I'm just referring to you.
Oh,
Robin,
yes.
he's been labeled Rob Stradamus. Well, 2 days ago, when we shared news that Snoop Dogg is going to stop smoking, first thing he said is he going to do edibles? Well, Robin, you might have also predicted the future.
Oh,
Snoop Dogg quits smoke amid NFT and edibles launch. He's launching an edibles brand. Well, Robin, how do you do it, man? Do you drink a special tea in the morning? Do you pee a certain way?
no, I mean, me and Snoop Dogg are close. Every time he comes to Vegas, I pick him up at the airport. You know,
Okay.
my road dog, bro.
Anyways, some crypto news. So this was tweeted from Eric. I don't know if it's Balkunas or Balchunas. Either way, we'll call him Eric. Eric B. So he is the senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. He tweeted this today, which some people are saying is part of the reason Bitcoin kind of rallied $800. Hearing chatter, the SEC's trading and markets are engaged with exchanges this week on spot ETF filings, and they're advising them that they'd like the ETFs to do cash creates versus in kind, and has asked them to get in amendments in the next couple weeks. This isn't unexpected, but a good sign nonetheless. Cash creates makes sense because broker-dealers can't deal in Bitcoin, so doing cash creates put the onus on issuers to transact in Bitcoin and keeps the broker-dealers from having to use unregistered subsidiaries or third-party firms to deal with the Bitcoin. Less limitations for them overall. Only 2 to 3 filers had planned for a cash creates. The rest wanted to do in kind. So may have to adjust or risk delay. Anyway, this doesn't change our 90% odds of up or down, but is a good sign the process marching forward and the SEC has a path forward in the plumbing that they are comfortable with. So something we haven't seen prior is the SEC actually engaging, asking questions, asking for information. Does this change your thoughts on an ETF, whether it's going to get approved or not? And any comment on this? I'll start with you first, Forrest.
Yeah, I think this is to me, this sounds like it's pretty much confirmed. They're just ironing out the details. Maybe there's an off chance that they're doing all of this as like a show to say like, oh, we actually really considered it. It just doesn't work out. I don't think that's the case. I think that these are as good as approved. It's just a matter of this being kind of the first of its kind in terms of its product, like a cryptocurrency ETF. I don't think this is something that the plumbing, so to speak, gets rolled out very easily and quickly. I think there's probably some stuff like this that has to go on to make sure that this gets launched in a way that's safe for everybody.
Forrest brings up a decent counter argument, Robin. Do you think this is all for show to where, you know, Gary's feeling the heat, right? People are questioning him. You're not, and is this a show for him to say, to fake it essentially, and then at the end still deny it? Or do you think this is actually?
No, they're not. The communication is an indictment of the direction that we're going, because in the past, when they've denied these over and over again, there was no communication. They just simply had the application on their desk, and then at the very end, the deadline, after extending over and over again, they just stayed quiet throughout the whole time and then cut them loose. So, yeah, I mean, I think the communication is key, right? They're providing guidance. They're saying, hey, I mean, maybe not the guidance that we would like, but they're saying, hey, ETF, let's do it in this cash style versus what you're planning. Then like that, we'll give you the green light, right? That's what it sounds
Yeah.
like. So
Forrest, let me ask you. We had a question from someone in the chat, and I think it's important as we get into this upcoming bull market. New people come in, maybe they don't know about crypto. So Nuke the Whale said, "Why is an ETF good?" Can you just real quick maybe explain why an ETF is so good?
Me or Robin?
Yeah, you, Forrest, you, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So basically, the underlying reason that a lot of the stock market goes up, the S&P 500, especially when unemployment's low, and why you see the stock market crash when unemployment rises, among other reasons, across like a shaky economy, is that a portion of a lot of people's paycheck automatically goes into the S&P 500 through their retirement accounts. So if you're employed somewhere, a very strong chance you have a 401k and somewhat of a 401k match from your employer. That portion is taken out of your paycheck every single month and goes to usually a financial advisor of some sort, or just directly into your 401k. And you might have preset settings where 60% of it goes into stocks, 40% into bonds, or vice versa. Bitcoin having an ETF basically creates an instrument where a lot of those financial advisors and asset managers and 401k software or at 401k allocations can then go in and add Bitcoin as an option. So it basically creates this steady set of inflows into Bitcoin that pushes the price up over time, right? There's going to be more of a structural demand and structural bid for Bitcoin if the product gets adopted, right? So the actual ETF, the spot Bitcoin ETF that has to be backed by liquid Bitcoin, being adopted is the first step in that direction. The second step is actual adoption, right? Do the financial institutions and financial advisors actually take an allocation for their 401ks and for their clients to Bitcoin? It's looking like there's demand there, and it's looking like there's acceptance there, and we've heard numbers between 1% and 5% of one's portfolio from some of these big asset managers would be a realistic thing to allocate towards Bitcoin. So, and then just to top it all off, just what goes without saying, the sheer amount of money that we're talking about here is staggering. It's in the trillions.
Very well said, Forrest. Thank you for that. I want to give a shout out to my boy Magic. Supposed to come on yesterday. We fudged that up. So Magic, we love you. And I know he was a little under the weather. Hope you're feeling better, my friend. Magic will be joining us on Tuesday. Super, super excited about that. Robin, I know you're itching to.
yeah, I am.
Go ahead.
I am. All right. So first of all, viewers here, we got 125 of you, which, okay, that's cool. We only got 56 likes. Means we got like a 38, 39. But I'm no mathematician, but it ain't enough.
Oh.
So do us a favor. Hit the like button. We'll open up the club if we get to 180 likes. Quite a far way away from there, but I think we can pull it through. Also, if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got Stephen, Friend, Pope Man, Wales, Avery Collins, Tornado T2, Ryan M, 3 digits, and the kid come on.
What does it mean by that comment?
Coming?
Yeah.
Come on.
The kid, come on. What is
Come on. Come on,
that
kid.
cool? A show without. Anyways.
Right?
Yeah.
Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crib.
All right. And guys.
And we are looking for another whale member. We haven't ran that animation in a while.
Yeah, Robin spends a lot of time. Robin and the team spend a lot of time creating this, and so when we don't play it for a while, it feels a little.
Yeah. When are we getting our next whale member?
Okay, man. I don't know. Stop being cheap, guys. Spend $25 a month for nothing. Okay. Jesus. What's wrong with you guys? Anyway.
I think Netflix is now more expensive than our whale membership.
Almost $23, I think.
Is it?
Anyways, guys, I want to tell you, if you are new to crypto and you're watching our channel, if we're speaking about something and something doesn't make sense or you want something clarified, please feel free to put it in the chat. We'll either we will answer it or someone from our community will. But we're trying to grow this thing together, and so we want you to feel comfortable and part of our community. So please don't hold back. No question is a stupid question. I'll leave it at that. Now, gentlemen, Michael Saylor, man seems to be. I don't know what's going on. This was a very intriguing interview. This is a 1:23 clip of Michael Saylor on impact theory. Well, let's just listen to this exchange.
But when you go all in on something, I would say that does take conviction. Now, your conviction might
How
be
many
coming from
chairs
first
are you sitting on
principles.
right now?
One.
Are you all in on the chair?
I am all in on the chair.
Like the point really is you put on one pair of glasses, you've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. You're using one microphone. That's a one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones? The point really is things in your life. Do you drive in 10 cars at the same time or one car at one time? Do you drive down one street? Aren't you afraid that you're driving down one street? Do you take a different way? You know? So my point really is, if you're you get on one airplane, are you convicted? You put your entire family on the one airplane, aren't you afraid? Ultimately, if you're a rational individual,
Michael
do you
Saylor
use,
scares me, man.
when you use,
Like,
Yeah,
A little too far.
like
I love Sailor, but what is he talking about here?
like if I had that conversation, I literally would just be like, yeah, I don't know what I did, but
Calm down.
don't
dude.
punch me. I don't know.
how am I supposed to drive 10 cars at the same time?
Them punch in the
No,
same
you
time,
know,
or are you
I
afraid?
saw this from the beginning to end. The
The whole interview?
Yeah, it's anyways. This is older one, right? Anyways. To put into context, what happened here is that he's saying that why diversify if you have a ultimate conviction in something, right? You know, he's obviously the Bitcoin maxi, and what he's saying, and then what impact theory is saying is that, hey, I don't know about Bitcoin, whatever it is, I diversify, and then he's saying like, hey, you got one microphone, so if that fails, then you have no show. And so, but he's saying that he has the conviction, hey, Bitcoin, that's my conviction. I put everything in it. I put my life's work. I put my family. That's why he's saying he puts his family on an airplane, because he trusts that the airplane will get to where it needs to and it won't kill his whole family. And he's saying that, hey, I'm all in on Bitcoin. I put my entire family, my entire company in this one thing. I have the conviction in it. I'm not going to take risk outside of it. And that was kind of the point he was trying to make, but he straight trolled this dude, man. He trolled him hard.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if I'm flying somewhere, I can't fly in multiple airplanes, right? But if I'm trying to invest in something, I can invest in multiple things. I can't do certain things.
But
But
the thing is that you're putting your family on that airplane, and so you have enough conviction in that airplane to make it to where you'll put your entire family on there. That's the whole premise. Now, I guess maybe saying putting on 10 airplanes doesn't really make much sense, but the fact that you would put your family on an airplane, you have the conviction that it's not going to crash. And if you take all of your company's money and all the investors' money and you put it in Bitcoin, you have the conviction that it's not going to crash.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of off center here. What are any thoughts for us?
I mean, look, the president and the vice president, they don't ride in the same car or fly in the same airplane for that very reason. Yeah, it's he said it like at the end, he's like, if you're a rational human being, as if he is a rational human being. I think he's very irrational, and he's probably going to be at one point the richest human being alive. Who knows if he ends up being like the world's first like trillionaire publicly. His bet is very, very likely to pay off, but let's not pretend that it wasn't risky. When Bitcoin was down at 15 to 20K and Binance was being investigated, and had, if Binance would have gone under, he could have been in a really, really rough position, and so could his company. So it's not like there's, he kind of is presenting this as like, oh, there's, investing your life savings and all of your company and investors' money into one thing such as Bitcoin is as riskless as sitting in the chair you're sitting in or flying on an airplane. I think is a really, honestly, a dishonest argument. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue with him too much because I mean, it's paid off. So high risk, high reward. It's, it'll probably pay off, and he looks like a genius right now.
He probably will be the richest man ever.
Remember, there was a lot of discussions on getting margin called on that big
Silvergate
like
loan?
$3 billion loan he had, or
To Silvergate.
yeah. So he was almost margin called on it, but then he lowered his margin call price by putting more money down, and so
He'll be fine. He's not gonna-
he was fine. But here's the thing: he did put his company in a position of vulnerability. Now he had to generate more capital to protect his assets from getting liquidated, or at least his loan from getting called, and then causing God knows what kind of issue that would have happened if that happened. But he had to move. He had to stick and move, right? He couldn't just buy Bitcoin and just let it sit there because he's borrowing money to buy Bitcoin. And so now he's complicated the whole scenario. And so to sit here and say that, hey, I got conviction in Bitcoin and it is what it is. You're stupid because you only got one microphone.
We have
So
5.
you took some risks too, bro.
We have 5 microphones.
You do. And we got more. We got more in the garage.
We also
too.
got 5 gifted memberships from Why You Loud. I remember back in the good old days when Why You Loud would be in our chat, and all he would say is "gang."
Ooh, no, we actually made that gang emoji just for him.
Yeah.
And then we also had 3 Diglets.
Three what?
Yeah. Anyways, he put a $10 super chat. That what's the new AVAX deal? So we will be talking about that here shortly. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we will. All right, let's talk about this. I have an affinity for macroeconomics, right? 491, so $500 billion in U.S. treasuries have been dumped by China in a decade as the country's debt holding hits a 14-year low. We know Japan, who is the leader of holding U.S. debt, they have also downsized their U.S. debt holdings. Why am I telling this, guys? At some point, we will see hyperinflation here in the United States, in the United States dollar. Do not be caught with your pants down. Make sure to diversify outside of the dollar in commodities. Bitcoin, gold, silver, anything that's backed by something valuable.
Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best.
There you go. Bam, right on cue. Perfect timing. So guys, please, seriously, don't think something is so unpenetrable. The dollar is king. It's that. No. All currencies, all kingdoms, they fall eventually, and the dollar is nothing different. Okay? The last 50 years, we have printed money to infinity.
Should I sell my dollars?
The government has been inefficient. They have been reckless, and the hens are going to come home to roost one day. And I don't want anyone from our community to be caught waking up one morning seeing that a gallon of milk is $15. Okay? Don't do that.
It's
Make sure you're diverse.
if you want the organic pasture raised, it is.
That's the way.
We are there.
All right, Robin, why don't we take a look at the markets?
Pasture raised, bro.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Pastor.
Pasture. I have a hard time pasture.
Pasture.
Shut it. All right, so we got Bitcoin coming in at $36,433. Now, y'all still making fun of my pasturing?
Free cage pasteurized.
I need a pastor in here. It's not Sunday. So so you can see where we're at on the day. Not too much movement on Bitcoin's price on the 24 hours. Holding steady in this little range between 35, 37 throughout the week. On the month,
Still laughing.
I'm laughing at a comment by Nuke the Whale said, I'm investing so that when I'm 138, I'll be able to retire in comfort. Sorry. Go ahead.
so started the month or started 30 days ago at 28,000. So you can see where we're going. To the moon is the destination. Now, taking a look at Ethereum, $1,941. So sitting underneath the $2,000 mark. Big movers today.
Near, let's go.
Protocol up 10%. Also 20 on the week. So big movement in Near Protocol. Also, we got Dogecoin up 7%, Gala up 6%, and Yearn Finance still pumping another 6%.
You know, Yearn Finance got
Yearn
to
Finance-
$90,000.
Yearn Finance sitting at
What's their supply? Can you scroll to the right?
It pretty much doubled. I think it's the
It's like
It's something real small.
It's
I think it's
less
like
than
I
a
think it's a
million.
million.
a million or less.
Where is it at?
33,000.
36,000.
36,000.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
But I mean, yeah. And then biggest losers. Let's see here. FTX token down 8%. I'm curious to. This is just going to be liquidated, right? There's no way they relaunch and.
Hey, man, it would be in the people's best interest if they relaunched and gave
No,
that thing.
I mean
some
for
utility.
what happened, I don't see any way that they. There was no
But you
use
know-
case in utility.
But the bankruptcy estate holds a majority of those FTT tokens, right? So they're going to want to try to do
they're
everything.
going to liquidate it, man. They're going to.
I'm just saying, if there's any way they can revive it and slowly start to exit that position and not lose a crap load of money,
Cash
it would
put
make
down 7% on the 24, but still up 36 for the week. So, that's all.
Boris, can we take a look at a BTC chart? What's this
Absolutely.
latest move? What is that showing on the structure of the chart? And also, anything else you're seeing? I'm blind.
Yeah. So, just
There we go.
overview from where we came from. Down here at the FTX collapse, we were ranging between $15,000 and $17,000 for a while, and we popped up to our red easy bands multiple times. And I just want to draw to people's attention. I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything in terms of selling or buying or whatever. I'm just trying to show you guys that historically, right, we've seen this bearish divergence come in this red easy band zone or near it. When you get that bearish divergence on the daily RSI, it oftentimes leads to a back test of the 21-week simple moving average or your prior range, right? So I know Bitcoin's, altcoins are flying. Bitcoin's in a great spot right now. Hopefully Bitcoin, can hold these levels and actually go higher. Everyone's, calling for market. And that may be the case, but a 15 to 20% correction is pretty normal for Bitcoin in a bull market and has been pretty normal for Bitcoin in the last year or so. If we zoom into our most recent move today, actually, I think it was surrounding that tweet, if I'm not mistaken, by Eric Balchunas that we just talked about, where they were talking about some, essentially that tweet to me insinuated that the ETF is all but likely to be passed. It's just a matter of ironing out the plumbing, right? So we're trying to break out of this. We call it a symmetric triangle, back upwards. That would be phenomenal. But again, we've been fighting this big set of bearish divergence. So a push down and a break of these levels down here of 33 to 35K would probably give us that mean reversion that we were looking for. And that mean reversion, again, would be a retest of our prior highs, like our prior range highs, just to draw a little bit more clearly to the 4 hour, just to show. And this is immediately what we talked about. If you missed this Bitcoin move, right now, obviously alts have run super hard here. But if you missed this Bitcoin move, right, it's very common to see a mean reversion here. Now, I'm not saying that it's even, the base case or the most likely case that Bitcoin comes back down to these levels. Apologies that trading view is kind of laggy today. 2930K. If we crash, I'm not saying that you should assume we're going to crash. I'm not saying to sell everything, even though I would recommend, not financial advice, that if your bags are up 3, 4, 5x on altcoins, that you take 5% off, that you just pay yourself, that you just make sure you have capital aside, because if this happens, you're going to be very, very sorry that you don't have more money to buy the dip with. Right. So speaking of, if we see a crash, I'm not saying we're going to see one, but it's very possible. If we break this trend line, we take out these lows and we start to see a crash, right? Where are we looking for it to catch? Prior range high, 21-week simple moving average, somewhere between $30,000 and roughly $32,000. That would be the level where you're wanting to bid Bitcoin. You're going to want to bid altcoins, because altcoins, most of them will be 30, 40% cheaper than what they're at right now. Maybe even 50, 60% drawdowns in some altcoins in the event of, especially ones that are very overbought, in the event of a 20% Bitcoin pullback. Yeah, overall, I mean, pretty straightforward here. I'm not going to overcomplicate it with a ton of additional indicators. I just think that we're accumulating underneath this resistance, which is usually a good sign. We have a bunch of mixed signals here. We have this accumulation under the resistance, and TradingView is being super laggy here. I'm trying to draw on top of it, but regardless, accumulation under these easy band resistance levels, we have potential upside in Bitcoin here. If this is even a bear market rally, this can run to the top of our easy bands, which are roughly 60K. We also have, bearish downside if we were to get a recession or something really, really bad were to happen. Binance goes under, something bad happens. I'm gonna have to refresh this page because it's completely frozen. If something were to completely bad were to happen, we do have, easy band downside to 20K. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to 20K, but if we were to start crashing, that's where you would want to actually 14 to 20K would be where you'd want to really be throwing everything you've got at Bitcoin and the market. But we are in a bull market. We do have upside potentially here to 44 to 60K. Right now, we're just kind of comfortably under that first red easy band level. It's been a level of resistance all year long that we've struggled to break through. If we start putting in the levels as high as 38 to 40K, we could see a squeeze up to 48 plus K, especially in the event of a Bitcoin ETF. Otherwise, just look for a mean reversion here. These are just kind of the base levels to keep in mind. Nothing too complicated here. Just the only thing that I think people should be making sure that they do is making sure that you have some stable coins on the side. Not going to determine how much, but some stable coins on the side to bid altcoins and to bid Bitcoin if we just see a simple mean reversion like we've seen so many times before in past years, in past cycles, and just in this past year alone.
Amazing. Guys, I'm going to stop the show for a second. We got breaking news. Emma finally got her membership. So can we get a round of applause for Emma? You guys don't know, Emma last week was in our show, in our chat, like 120 memberships. She didn't get one. We finally got her one. Emma, congratulations to you. Also, we had a $10 super chat from Sauce Bow. Said, can we get a weather update? I hope you saw the weather little thing in the corner, my friend. But we're currently sitting at 65 degrees. Expect evening lows of 54 degrees. There you have it, your weather update for
right. We also are sitting currently at 93 likes and 170 viewers, so over the 50%. But let's get the likes up to at least 120. And then we haven't done this in a while, but let's get a Ola train. If you are new here, say hello. We can say an Ola back at you. That's OLA.
What sound does a train make, Robin?
Let's so let's see how many Olas we can get in the chat. It's a spam session. So let's get this thing going. Let's get 100 plus Olas in the chat. What do you think? You think we can get 100 Olas?
If you get 100 Olas, Robin will put the sunglasses back on for the rest.
Yes. I see 2 Olas.
And if Forrest has aviator glasses, we would also recommend he gets them put on as well. I already have glasses, guys. So, yeah.
Oh,
damn!
Of course he does.
Of course he does. The man's prepared, man.
Yeah.
Man is freaking prepared. Guys, let's get
Do you
in.
have those Burlington shades that you normally have?
Anyways, let's talk about Cardano. Rocco, I swear to God, I'm going to delete that stupid sound. Anyways, talk about Cardano, guys.
Oh, that's the best sound.
What's more decentralized? Is it Cardano or is it Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin really the most decentralized? Let's talk about it. Charles Hoskinson reveals plans for Cardano to go full-blown decentralized. The 5-step roadmap, right? Voltaire is the final era in the roadmap of Cardano, and that is meant to take Cardano into the land of full decentralization and to hand over the keys to the community. So, in a recent live stream, Charles Hoskinson shed light on the final phase of the Cardano roadmap, Voltaire, and the integration of a new sidechain named Midnight. Hoskinson, his revelations on Cardano's next moves towards decentralization hint at groundbreaking shifts for this layer 1 blockchain ecosystem. Notably, Cardano is advancing towards a fully decentralized governance structure as it enters Voltaire. As part of the decentralization process, Charles announced IOG's decision to move all repositories to a community-run project called Intersect. This move will pave the way for the establishment of partner chains. Essentially, each partner chain or service chain, as referred to by Charles, will have its own tokenomics and consensus logic, similar to what we're seeing on the Avalanche subnets. Now, Avalanche has seen a massive rise in popularity, and it looks like Cardano is doing the same thing. And I'm actually decided to text Adam, who is a dev on Cardano, and I asked him about the metric that he likes to look at. And my first thing was nodes, and so I asked him compared. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, I know Bitcoin has about 16,500 nodes. What would you put Cardano at? Because these are metrics I don't necessarily follow as much as someone like he would. He said, if we go by stake pools, we're looking at about 3,000 registered validators, of which I believe about 750 to 800 produce blocks per epoch. However, some of these pools are multi-pools, mean they are run or controlled by the same entity. We know that Cardano's big rally point is that they are decentralized, right? They're not something as centralized. We love Solana, but let's face it, they're a little more centralized than something like Cardano is. I'll ask you first, Rob. Cardano, once the roadmap is completed, maybe even now, would you argue that it could potentially become more decentralized than Bitcoin? Or do you think it's impossible because as proof of stake, not
Well, yeah,
necessarily.
yeah. You got did somebody say steak?
Fake.
Yeah.
Fake again.
No one said stake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
Oh.
That's STAKE, not STEAK.
Yeah, guys, get it right here, okay?
Love that one. So apples and oranges. Bitcoin in terms of decentralization, layer one, Cardano with smart contracts, in terms of decentralization. It's hard to compare the two, right? But you can say that in hacking the network of it having an attack, I guess, you're going to need a massive amount of miners to compromise the network. So the amount of money you would need would be quite substantial. I'm talking nation state size, coordinated attack with
But
billions of dollars. So in that regard, Bitcoin, I think, is more decentralized, right? But at the same time, there's less players in Bitcoin. So you might need more capital to compromise the network. But at the same time, there's less giant miners, right? There's not so many people. Now you go to proof of stake. What you have here is, or at least in Cardano's situation, is they have stake pool operators. There's how many stake pool operators did you say?
3,000 registered validators.
Yeah, so you got 3,000 different operators. This is something that's going to grow. And so, and each stake pool also has lots of individuals in there. I don't know what the number is. I remember when in the stake pool that I was in, it was a few, I think it was like 100 people in there or something, or I don't remember. But anyways, there was a long list of people that was in each stake pool.
I believe there's a cap on it as well.
Yeah, I think so. And then, so that I think there's more people in the network. So the network itself is a little bit more spread out and decentralized in that way. But apples and oranges. So I don't know if I can compare the two, but I could see a situation that if Cardano gets network adoption as far as use case and utility globally, especially with retail, and institutions starts using it to make partnerships to launch, and then big tech companies are using it for dApps. I could see a scenario where it's going to have a way more nodes and validators than Bitcoin would. But Bitcoin, you got to come up with so much money to get enough miners to compromise the network.
And that's part, everyone always talks about, hey, we know there's a massive backlog of transactions on Bitcoin. The fees have spiked to what, $12 or so?
$16.
$16.
$16.
And people are saying, well, why don't you make the block size bigger, right? Go from 4 to 8 megabytes. The problem with that is it would make the network more centralized because not everyone is able to. It's much easier to run a validator node at 4 megabytes than it is at 8 megabytes, right? You would have to upgrade your systems, get new hardware. And so that is one big reason I personally don't think the miners are ever going, well, maybe they will because it's in a benefit. But either way, one of the reasons why the Bitcoin advocates are refusing to even entertain the idea of increasing the block size to make the Bitcoin transactions maybe a little faster, cheaper. But Forrest, What are your thoughts on this conversation? And I also would love for you to take a look at a Cardano chart at some point as well. I do want to kind of put this on screen really, really quick. So this is from Ali Charts. So this essentially, in a nutshell, he's comparing the last consolidation of Cardano, massive 6,000 or is it a 3,000% run up, and saying we're seeing a similar thing. A similar move would bring Cardano to $6.50. What are your thoughts on the conversation we're having? And also, what are your thoughts on this and the price action of Cardano?
Yeah, so I have what is probably like philosophically pretty unpopular opinions on decentralization. My opinion is that most people want to go for like maximum decentralization philosophically, but from which I agree with. Like the more decentralization, the better. But I believe there's trade-offs when like you just mentioned. There's trade-offs for decentralization. Like if you were willing to make Bitcoin slightly less decentralized, you could get better performance out of the chain. You could get lower transaction fees, more throughput. So for certain networks, particularly smart contract networks, where it's not okay to have $16 transaction fees at scale, because it just, what's the point? The chain's essentially useless for anybody who's not moving large sums of money around. You have to make those trade-offs. So I think there's a point of sufficient decentralization, and then past that sufficient decentralization, you get diminishing returns in terms of your ability to upgrade the network as well as your transaction throughput and scalability. So that's just my general thoughts on decentralization in general. Sounds like I'm not super familiar with what Cardano is launching, but it sounds like more decentralization, better. Sounds good to me. As far as Cardano goes, I'm actually bullish on Cardano. So if we go to, I'm going to pull up, instead of just the Cardano chart, I'm going to pull up the Cardano Bitcoin chart. So, at the end of the day, like if you can't outperform Bitcoin, what's the point in being in an altcoin, right? Altcoins are pretty objectively more risky than being in Bitcoin. So like, why would I want to take on more risk in an altcoin if it's not going to outperform Bitcoin? So we're going to compare Cardano to Bitcoin, which has obviously been in a big bear market. And this is kind of the reason why in a bear market, I've always said, like, you don't want to really be in Cardano in a bear market. If you have a super long-term investment thesis, that's fine. But just know you're going to probably eat a ridiculously large drawdown holding your Cardano in a bear market, 87% against Bitcoin. But in a bull market, again, nothing outperforms Cardano in a bull market. Cardano just crushes it. Retail investors in particular love Cardano, love the project, love Charles Hoskinson, love the decentralization of Cardano. And Cardano just rips in a bull market. And I think I've said this for a while. I said this, over the past 6, 12, 18 months as we were kind of grinding down here, that I don't necessarily want Cardano allocation right now. I want a Cardano allocation pre-halving. I want a Cardano allocation as we start to show signs of bottoming Bitcoin. And that's exactly what we're starting to see. We go to the daily RSI here, and we kind of talked about how Bitcoin right now has some bearish divergence in the short term on the daily RSI. We're actually seeing some bullish divergence start to play out on the daily RSI for Cardano. And I haven't even checked, but I'd be willing to bet that's still true. Yeah, it's very true and even more prominent on the Awesome Oscillator and the RSI for Cardano versus Bitcoin on the 3-day chart, right? Against Bitcoin, Cardano, Bitcoin. And then we're seeing consolidation. I'll go back to the daily chart. We're seeing continuation consolidation on top of our 21-week simple moving average, right? So we're just sitting here consolidating up here. This looks like it's due for a move up into this next stage here. So I am bullish on Cardano. I'm bullish on a variety of altcoins right now in the medium term. But if this ends up being a bear market rally or Bitcoin crashes here in the next, if it does that little mean reversion we were talking about, be wary that this could, fall below the 21-week simple moving average, and you have some pretty clean support levels to bid Cardano here against Bitcoin. But overall, this is just looking like a really, really solid play. It's looking like Cardano's showing signals that it wants to bottom. It's got the bullish divergence. Excuse me. And it's, potentially trying to start an uptrend. If we start moving out of this zone up here, now we've started an uptrend against Bitcoin, and we're looking much more bullish against, the traditional trend. Again, well, if we go to last bear market, this is kind of what we saw, right? And I'll actually go to the 3-day because I would be willing to bet. I don't know for sure, but I'd be willing to bet there's bullish divergence that kicked this whole thing off last side Bitcoin. And yeah, bullish divergence in the green easy band zone. We pushed up to the 21-week simple moving average and we consolidated on top of it, right? And then we want a huge run against Bitcoin, A to Bitcoin here, right? So we're seeing signs here that Cardano is likely bottoming out, at least on the Bitcoin chart, which is even more bullish than bottoming out on the dollar chart, because if you expect Bitcoin to go up and then you expect Cardano to go up even more than Bitcoin, that's when you want to be in it. The last thing I'll say is you do have to have some caution here. We are still pre-halving, right? April, I believe, of 2024. We could see a painful kind of like drop. As much as I would love for this to just start running, and it very well may, we could see another set of bullish divergence. You could see triple bullish divergence on Cardano here as we go into the halving, and then we get the real bull market, post halving. So that's one scenario to be aware of. But as of right now, the chart, the Cardano chart looks very bullish. I'll be the first to say that. It looks very bullish, and it looks like Cardano could have a really nice catch-up trade after all the kind of grinding downwards it's done in this bear market. As this bear market comes to a close, now's the optimal time, in my opinion, to take a Cardano allocation, and you're much less likely to sit through a further grinding downwards and much more likely to see some upside here.
I got a question for the chat here.
Yes.
You have Bitcoin at 36,000 and you got Cardano at 36 cents. What would you prefer? Would you rather have one Bitcoin or 100,000 Cardano? By the way, both cost $36,000. Would you rather at this moment have one Bitcoin or 36,000 Cardano?
Or maximum gain?
Or 100,000 Cardanos? I'm just saying, like, you have an option in front of you. Your wife's like, hey, I got an extra 36 grand. You want to throw some crypto? Just buy one
And
token.
my portfolio slate is clean?
Doesn't matter.
It
I want to know where
It
the
matters.
chat is.
Of course it matters.
I'm just saying,
Because if I already have
for
5
you
Bitcoin-
individually, I'm asking you, David. I'm asking the chat. I'm asking Forrest. I'm asking whoever's in the chat.
But context matters.
The context is whatever the hell you got in your portfolio.
Well, things are different. This is what you do to me when I ask you questions, by the way. How does it feel?
The question is very simple.
Yeah, but there's
You
context.
as a person with whatever portfolio you have, your wife or significant other gives you 36 grand and say, hey, go put this all in one token. And you're like,
I'm putting it
should
on
should I get one Bitcoin or should I get 100,000 Cardano? Both of them cost 36 grand. I'm just curious. Guys, put a 1 in the chat if you would put that into Bitcoin. Put a 2 in the chat if you put it into Cardano. I'm just curious to see where this lies. Also, I did find something interesting here on a side note here. There's Kanye West is in Japan, him and his wife. And I'm just looking at this, and I can't help but to think these looks like the alternate uniforms in Mortal Kombat. And I'm just like, you hit
Finish her. Finish him.
And then we got a big super chat as well. Was that Frankie Candles?
Frankie
Frankie
Candle.
Candles, he's over here. So he said, keep cursing. Don't forget to smash that like.
He said crushing cursing.
I say cursing. You say crushing.
The man paid $50. Can you at least pronounce the words
then
correctly?
you read it. You know I'm not good at that.
I'm gonna go ahead and take away. He said, "Hola, much love, Sin City. Keep crushing. Don't forget to smash the like." That was some saucy TA. We love Forrest TA. We love your TA, Frankie. We need to bring Frankie back on the show, man. We love Frankie. Big shout out to the Candle Mafia. And okay, so what's your answer to your own question?
I think I'll take a Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, Forrest. What about you?
The Cardano, I don't think like Bitcoin is going to get you rich. At least I don't think one Bitcoin is going to get you rich. I don't think it's going to go like I think there's a chance that you could see like a 10, 20x in Cardano in the next 2 years, like in actually like make some serious money. If you had Cardano, there's a chance that it doesn't outperform Bitcoin. Whereas if you just have one Bitcoin, I'm thinking like, 100K Bitcoin, 150K Bitcoin in a bull market. Maybe the ETF just sends it higher, and I'm wrong. But I think I like the higher risk, high reward of Cardano in that option.
I agree with Forrest. If I got the 36K, I'm going Cardano. I do think Bitcoin's going to 10 to 20x. Not in the next 2 years though. 10x in the next 2 years potentially. Yes. 20x. I doubt it.
A lot of twos. Yeah. So a lot of twos. I think
people want gains.
The chat has spoken, And I think Cardano is a resounding play for the chat. Also, if you are new here, say hello so we can jump an OLED back at you. Got a handful of new people. We got Press Watson, Me Crypto, Jumsty TV, Press O'Neill, Hogzilla, Michael C, World's Lowest Voice Crypto, XXI Gaming, Marie, AYC19, Scoobs Yo, Night Horse.
Did Frankie vote? Frankie, what's your vote, my friend? Frankie, are you Cardano or are you Bitcoin? What's your answer?
Anyways, to all of you, hola, welcome.
Let's move on from Cardanzo to Avalanche. As AVAX continues not only its price rally, but its partnership rally. Tech firm Republic taps Avalanche for a profit-sharing investment note. So, this is from Cointelegraph. Neo investment and technology firm Republic plans to issue a blockchain-based security token that will pay dividends to retail investors from profits across its broad portfolio of investment holdings. Republic has attracted over 3 million investors and has deployed over $2.6 billion into various ventures, including the likes of Web3 firms Avalanche, DappRadar, and Dapper Labs, which is behind the Flow blockchain. Republic has already carried out a pre-sale round for the Republic note, attracting over $30 million from individual and institutional investors. Dividends from the note are set to be paid out in USDC to retail investors when the dividend pool reaches a threshold of $2 million. Now, the reason Avalanche is so popular among companies, institutions, is because of their subnets. Their subnets allow for as much customizability as you like. If you're in a different jurisdiction and you got to make changes, you can do that with the Avalanche subnet. They are evergreen, they're fast. And so Avalanche is, it's making waves. People are choosing it. Is this, and I'll ask you first, Rob, and then we'll go to Forrest. What are your thoughts on this partnership? And what are your thoughts on Avalanche's growth going into the next bull market? Do you have maybe a price prediction for us?
Well, I'm no TA guy. I'm more bullish sentiment. I don't know. I feel like Avalanche has gotten lost in the sauce in this bear market. A lot of talk was in Solana, and it being down as heavy as it was. We've had that big rally. Ethereum's been somewhat quiet, but I just haven't heard much out of Avalanche. But Polygon has been at the forefront of news and partnerships. So I'm just glad to see that Avalanche is still chugging along on the roadmap and making partnerships. $20, it's outside the top 10. I don't know. I'm pretty bullish on Avalanche, and I'm surprised it's not up more than it is on the 24 hours. Up, it's at just down 1%, but it is up 40% on the week. So. Giant move from Avalanche. Yeah,
Is $21 a good pickup for you here, given the potential?
Up 40%. Here's the thing with Gary Gensler today, or the news that we were talking about, where Gary Gensler is advising that they amend the ETF applications to change it to cash. Safe to say we won't get the ETF passed by the end of the week, right?
No.
Next week.
No.
And I think that with the lack of news, I think that the altcoin market is going to pull back a little bit because it rallied pretty hard. And so Avalanche being up 46%, I don't know if it can hold all of those gains throughout an entire week without any bullish news coming out on Bitcoin or the broader crypto markets. So I think that it might lose that $21. That's my opinion. So I would look for something maybe, let's see, where was it a week ago? And then that would be something I would probably take a look at. So $17. So I think I wouldn't be surprised this comes back to about 18. So if you're really feeling itchy to get a position on Avalanche, I'd probably wait for it to come back to 18. We can revisit this Friday next week, see if it comes back to 18. But that'd be my guess. I don't know. Anyways, what do you think there, David? Avalanche.
Oh, sorry, I got a little itch.
Oh.
Avalanche.
Yeah,
What are my thoughts on what?
Avalanche.
Avalanche. I picked some up today, $21.
Of course you did. Of course I did. You always
Look, man, for
literally.
me, my time horizon is long term, right? Whether I get it at $18 or 21, to me, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to run the risk of something happening. But hey, whatever it is, you know, I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to sit there and.
We got our own Jim Cramer here in the studio.
Yeah.
Rocco's just a hater.
He's like, it's up 100%.
Let's buy all
It's time to buy, baby. I had to retrace. Anyways, Forrest, Avalanche, thoughts on this partnership? Also, maybe if am I dumb for buying at $21? Should I have waited? What does a chart look like as well?
I mean, like it could go up, it could go down, and we're a little bit overbought right now. But even in the short term, this market's so strong. I think its red easy band top is at like $32, so you could be up 50% next week, and you know, be in a good profit taking position. So, yeah, this market's hot right now. But as far as this partnership goes, no, this is exactly where Avalanche excels. You got it exactly right. The customizability of the subnets is where Avalanche shines. My brother actually runs a development company, blockchain dev company that he would basically, this partnership, Republic Bank or whatever, would hire somebody like him or his company to actually build out this solution on Avalanche for them. So they do this and they use Avalanche. That's they're primarily building on, and they're building subnets for kind of like private enterprise use cases such as this. And yeah, Avalanche is the best for that. You have all the customizability, and I think this is really where Avalanche is going to kind of find its niche, and I think it's where it's winning over the competition.
Now, our TA expert Robin has spoken, saying, "Wait for $17." Is that what you're seeing as well on your charts?
I can pull up a quick Avalanche chart if you'd like.
Yeah.
Won't spend a ton of time on it, but let's see here. We'll zoom out a little bit. We'll go to the daily. The trading view has been so laggy today. I apologize.
Yeah, same for me too this morning.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just like a big influx of users or what, but either way, red easy band's up there at 23. You're buying in a pretty overheated zone, but there's a margin pressure level all the way up at $32 that I think could be a pretty nice target here. And then if you just zoom out and look at the big picture, and you have a multiple year time horizon, Avalanche had an all-time high over $100. They continue to build and improve. So who knows, you could be up 4 or 5x and towards the top of a bull market, and hopefully we get one here in the next 2 years. So yeah, I think you're all right.
Thank you, Forrest. You always find a way to make me feel better about myself. Forrest, we appreciate you joining us. People want more, Forrest. They want some indicators. They want some research. Where can they find that information?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is go to Sistine.ai. I think you guys keep a link in the description below. The indicators they use, the easy bands, the margin pressure levels, all the stuff that I personally use to trade is available at that website. We also put out market research. So we've been putting out market research all bear market long. Stuff like Mad Lads that minted at 7 Solana. They're over 100 Solana right now. We caught those things. We minted those things for what, like $150, $150. And now they are over $6,000.
You told us about
you can
that.
kind of see our track record there.
When we were in Georgia, you told us about that 2 days before the mint.
Yeah. I've got to actually go and update this right now. I think that Mad Lads are like a 100x or something, or like a 60x, and I need to update this. We also got Solana really, really cheap, under $20, and we put out consistent research that's been this has had a solid track record, and if you're somebody who kind of just wants that research sent to their inbox, and look, at any given month you can have slow months, you can have hot months, but over the course of a year you get that research piped into your inbox. There's going to be an opportunity that probably speaks to you, and you may feel the need or the you may feel like pulling the trigger on one, and just kind of having that there and sent to you can benefit your crypto journey. So keep it in mind.
Yeah. And I do get those research papers in my inbox, and they're great. So thank you for that, Forrest. Guys, if you want to follow Forrest, we'll follow him on Twitter at Sistine Research. Also, we do have the YouTube channel pinned in the comments at Sisney Research on YouTube. He does do a live stream of technical analysis. Also want to give a big thank you again to our channel sponsor, CAMS Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow and maximize profits, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Big thank you to all of you who watch and support this channel. Big thank you to all of you who threw money at us. Big thank you to our special guest who joined us in studio. Gentlemen, any parting words before we head off into the weekend and go repair some manhole covers on the Las Vegas Strip?
Glad nobody knows what the hell you're just talking about. Hey, let me say, man, those Formula One cars, I was right there. Those things are so fast. I saw like 10 of them go by. I could not tell you the color of a single car.
Yeah,
I was standing right there by the fence. It was just like,
yeah, I was taken aback by how fast they were.
and I'm just like,
They're fast.
I'm like, bro.
When you see them in person, you're like, holy moly.
yeah, man. I was about 10 feet away from the fence and elevated just a little bit. And honestly, if you even want to know what the hell's going on, you can't be 10 feet away. You got to be like,
You got to be in the car.
you got to be far. Yeah, you got to be either in the car or at least like 100 feet away.
Yeah.
Because you're 10 feet away. You're not watching anything besides blur sounds, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Anyways, guys, with that being said, Rocco, thank you so much for tuning in. What an amazing week has been. Come back next week for an even more amazinger week. On behalf of all of us here at Sin City Crypto, we love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Until Monday.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.